You're listening to the Breakaway Breakdown podcast, where we bring you interviews with some of the top ropers in the country, news about what's going on in the fastest sport on dirt, training tips for you and your horses, and so much more. I'm your host, Casey Allen. Let's jump in. Today's episode, we're going to check in with two different breakaway ropers who are both teenagers and are both doing very big things in the sport of breakaway. First up is going to be Jenna Hume. She's 18 years old. She's from Orfordville, Wisconsin, and she just won this little rodeo you might have heard of in Gillette called the National High School Finals Rodeo. She was 285 in the short round, super fun short round to watch. She really showed out, and she took the win by 100th of a second to win the NHSRA World Championship Breakaway Roping title. Jenna is a super sweet girl, and I think you guys are really going to enjoy her interview. Also, I don't want to talk too much at the beginning to bore you because we've got a lot to go through today, but I want to make sure to give a shout out to Fastback Ropes. I'm going to tell you more about them at the commercial break, and after we get in and talk to Jenna, I'm going to check back in with you, let you know some more things between her interview and the next one. So, let's jump right in before I start babbling along too much. All right, I am here in Gillette, Wyoming with Jenna Hume, who just had an awesome week and just got crowned the world champion high school breakaway roper. So, Jenna, thanks so much for taking time to talk to me. I know everything's been like a whirlwind for you today. Let's start at the beginning of the week. Talk me through the first round.
Well, the first round I had kind of like an easier go on calf, so I had to make sure I scored him out enough to, not be aggressive but not break the barrier, obviously, and I scored really good, and he ended up going left and I roped him right there, and it was a 2-6, so that was really good to start out.
Awesome. And then second round, did you know what your calf did, or what was your game plan?
Second round, the calf was a little faster, so the game plan was score a little less, but still make sure I was on the barrier and being aggressive. And the same thing, I just reached out there and roped him when I got there and took a shot when I could.
Awesome. So then, short round tonight, were you nervous going into it?
I mean, I'm always nervous, and personally, I like being a little more nervous because I feel like I'm sharper that way, as long as, I'm in control of what I'm doing. So I was a little nervous, but I just remembered, rope like I normally do, don't change anything really, and, reach out there and rope them.
Cool. So what did you know about that calf, and what was your plan when you were backing in the box tonight?
Well, that calf, I think only one person caught him out of 3 or 4 other girls, and so the one I got to see, it kind of zigzagged a little bit, but I really got my horse behind the cow so that it wouldn't zigzag, and I lined him out and roped him there and ran straight, and it was a good run, 2-8, so it worked out good.
And what was that feeling when they said your name at number 1 and you got in the back of the Polaris and went around the arena?
I almost didn't believe it. I felt like someone was playing a joke on me. So it was awesome, though. It was super cool.
Cool. So let's talk about you. Tell me how you got started in rodeo and where you're from.
So my grandfather started roping calves when he was younger, and he continued to, grow with my family, and my dad and uncle still rope calves and team rope to this day. And I used to want to be a barrel racer when I was younger, but as I started roping calves, I was like, okay, this is what I want to do. So now I'm here and still roping cows and loving it. So
awesome. And what grade are you in?
I'm a senior this year.
Senior. So this was your last high school rodeo. How do you feel about that?
I'm good. I'm definitely ended on a good note, so I'm happy with that.
Cool. So what are your plans from here?
I'm going to Iowa Central in Fort Dodge to rodeo for them. I'm going to be team roping, goat tying, and break roping for now. So that's the plan, and hopefully make it out to the college finals this year, but we'll see what happens.
Awesome. So is anybody else in your family involved in rodeo?
Yes. I mean, pretty much everyone on my dad's side is. My uncle helps me a lot, and my little brother, although sometimes he does not want to come out and help me, he always comes out and helps me if I ask him. So it's awesome, yeah.
Well, good deal. And just talk me through your season. How did you qualify here? What did that year look like for you?
Well, I actually set a goal to win the breakaway roping this year, which I usually don't set aggressive goals like that. And I missed 2 cows out of the season. And so that set me back a little bit from where I wanted to go, but I finished the year super strong. I finished third, and I've been out here and I, wanted to rope like I have been doing the whole time, and so, yeah.
Well, good deal. Tell me about the horse you're using this week.
My horse, he's junior. I've been roping on him, I don't know, probably since I was in 8th grade, and he was my dad's old tie-down horse and my uncle's old tie-down horse. He's actually 24 and he's blind in one eye. But he's been an awesome horse. I could not ask for better. He runs out there every time and gives me the best shot he can, and I could not ask for a better horse.
Yeah, he looked spunky tonight after you roped.
Yep, he was. He's always ready to go. We actually have to put earplugs in him to make sure he settles down a little bit because he does not like the music.
Mm-hmm. What was it like hearing that crowd when you roped?
It was crazy. I think I was so in the zone, and then when I look up and saw the time and then heard the crowd, I don't know, it was crazy.
Is this the biggest crowd you've been in front of?
Yeah, probably. I mean, besides the other national finals, but this is, the biggest crowd I've been in for the short go.
I get you. How many times have you been out here?
I've been out to the finals 3 times. My first year I made it to the short round, but didn't do good. And then last year I didn't do very good. But this year we came out strong and finished strong for sure. So
cool. So I had a rough finals last year.
Yep.
Came back and obviously had a very good finals. What changed in the last year? What did you work on?
Well, we really worked on being aggressive with the scoring part because that's what really sets up your run, at least for me and my horse. And my dad has been really pushing me. I had gone to a couple of PRCA rodeos and did good at a couple of them. So that's really been helping me, and he's just been really teaching me how to rodeo. Before I was just kind of going through the movements, but now I'm really learning how to rodeo.
Cool. So do you know what your major is going to be in college yet?
Not quite. I kind of choosing between agribusiness and animal science at the moment, but hopefully I'll kind of figure it out as I go.
Awesome. Are you going to take any other horses out there with you?
I am. I'm going to take my heading and barrel horse, but I'm just going to head on him out there.
Awesome. So what would you tell a little girl that wanted to get started in high school rodeo and didn't really know what to think of it?
I would say, go for it. You have to be aggressive and, just go for it, really.
And let's talk about the High School Rodeo Association as a whole. What has this association done for you and kind of your future? It's
really shaped who I am. Without rodeo, I'd wouldn't be doing too much, and I'm out there practicing every day, and so it's been awesome helping me grow as a person inside and outside of the arena.
Good deal. Do you like to do anything else outside of rodeo or play any other sports?
I do play volleyball a little bit. I plan on playing for fun, but nothing too competitive. Yep. But I love playing volleyball and fishing a little bit, but that's basically it.
That's awesome. So what else do I need to know about you? What did I miss?
I don't know. I think that's pretty good.
I've got one. I ask everybody that comes on. It can be roping, life, whatever. What is the best advice you've ever been given?
I think the best advice I've ever been given is just to, have confidence, and there's no sense in not being aggressive, so go out there and give it your all.
I like that. Well, all right, I will let you go. And how long is it going to be back to Wisconsin?
Oh, I don't know. I slept half the time, I think. But I think like a good 13 hours-ish. Yeah, so we got to drive for us.
Yeah. You had quite the fan club here. Tell me about your family.
I did. We had my family and my mom and dad and my brother. And then we also had a couple other different families from Wisconsin or high school rodeo. And they've been awesome. They've helped me scoring the calf, and I had a kid my age help get the calf's head, so they've been really awesome for that.
Awesome. And who did you say was pushing for you this week?
My dad.
Dad.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Yep.
Awesome. Well, all right, I will let you go. Thanks so much again for talking to me.
Yep, thanks for having me.
So first off, I just want to give a shout out to Jenna for being a total trooper, because we were videoing that in like the back room away from where they were doing awards after they did all the awards for all the events and everything that took place, which I don't know if you guys have been to the National High School Finals, but there's a lot of awards for a lot of different things. But it was probably, I don't know, 12:30 at night, and Jenna had been going all day. She was exhausted, but she was so sweet, and she didn't rush through anything. She tried so hard in her interview. So I've just got to say thank you so much, Jenna, for being a great sport at the high school finals. She's a super nice girl, and I cannot wait to see what she goes on and does in her professional and collegiate career. Something else that Jenna called and told me afterwards that she wanted to make sure I included in her article that's on Breakaway Roping Journal is that if you notice in the video that's on our Instagram and TikTok, you can't see her rope. And at first I thought that I was just videoing poorly, but it turns out she was using a black rope. And her grandfather that she was really close with passed away about a year ago. And she said to me, everyone hates that rope because no one can see me rope with it. My papa passed away a year ago, and after he died, I stole that black rope out of his rope can. I've used it ever since. I love it. Now I won the world with it, so that's pretty cool. And I think that's just so special. And of course I had to ask her, are you going to retire the rope? And her answer was pretty great. She said, man, that's the question everyone is asking me. I will keep roping with it until it doesn't feel good to rope with anymore. So I love that she's going to be roping this summer on her way to college with that black rope from her grandfather. She doesn't know what brand it is, but she said she'd buy 100 of them if they could. So before we jump into the next guest, I want to tell you about another rope company, Fastback Ropes, that made this episode possible. Hey guys, this episode is brought to you by Fastback Ropes. Fastback Ropes was created in 1995 with a single mission in mind: to build the best rope on the market. That will always be their number one goal, according to Fastback Ropes. They believe it's important to focus on building the best product possible and treat customers with the respect that they deserve. Now, besides being a great company, they feature 2 ropes that I think you breakaway ropers are going to like. The first is the Edge, a 4-strand calf rope. It's made of texturized poly. It's a tough and durable rope that stands up in all conditions and outlasts the competition. The other rope that they've come up with is exclusively for breakaway ropers, unlike the Edge, which was offered to calf ropers previously. It's called the Athena, and besides being pink and having a purple dyed core, which is awesome, the poly core provides enhanced tip weight and durability. It's a tough and durable rope that stands up in all conditions and gives a snappy finish and close. Make sure to check out fastbackropes.com for more information and to get your ropes. All right, the next 18-year-old breakaway roper you're going to hear from is from Iowa, Louisiana. We've had her on the breakdown before. We're talking about Josie Conner. I've been a fan of Josie's for a few years now. I've really enjoyed watching her career as it's developed. She is an outstanding roper, especially for her age, and she's got a great head on her shoulders. She's just... So for some context, we're talking to her from the Days of 4 to 7 rodeo in Salt Lake City, where she was 1.85 seconds to shatter the arena record that Jackie Crawford had just set a few days before, and win $25,000 and that coveted gold medal. Josie's going to talk about some things that are not ideal that are going on in her WPRA rookie season, because she's also leading the WPRA rookie standings with just under $30,000 won. And she's actually dropped down to, I believe, 16th in the world the last time they updated the standings. So she is just barely on the outside looking in. I don't know if you guys have checked out the world standings, by the way, about that, because there is less than $4,000 separating 13th and 20th right now. It is an absolute knife fight. But Josie's going to just get into kind of her season, and she's going to tell us more about Dutch, who you guys heard about when we had Josie on after her BFI win, when she had just got Dutch. They've gotten to know each other a little better. She's been having him out on the road, and he's just a really cool horse to watch. And this interview is by Jenna Link, who is our digital editor over at the Team Roping Journal and Breakaway Roping Journal. I am sure you guys will be hearing more from her in the future. She is wonderful, and I'm glad you guys are finally getting to meet her just a little bit. Now, where we jump into the interview, Jenna is talking to Josie about an injury that she just had. As I kind of mentioned before, not ideal timing, but we're going to talk about what that injury is and how that's going to affect her season. So I'm going to let Jenna and Josie take it away.
Yes, ma'am. I had a horse fall on me yesterday and broke my foot, sprained my ankle, so we're just laid up.
Oh, no. Oh, my gosh. How does that affect the rest of your season?
They said normally this injury takes 4 to 6 weeks in adults, but since I'm still young and my bones are still kind of growing, they're hoping for maybe 3 or 4 weeks. So hope to be end of August.
That sucks.
I know it, but I guess it could be worse.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes,
where were you entered up?
So I left Salt Lake and we drove to Cheyenne, and I didn't make it back to the perfs at Cheyenne, so we drove it all night to the WCJ World Championship Junior Rodeo or whatever in Lazy E.
Okay.
And I was about 5 away, about to rope. Same routine as I always do. Tightened my horse up, went to go trot a circle with my rope tied on, and his back feet slipped out from under him and fell on me on the right side. Yes, ma'am. And I guess my foot just hit perfectly in the stirrup or whatever. And yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry to hear that.
That's okay.
Yeah. Well, because you are ranked number 1 in the rookie standings, right?
Yes,
I think I saw that. So, talk about your season up to this point. Maybe some of the rodeos that you've really enjoyed, or some of the rodeos that were kind of like a learning opportunity, I guess.
Yes, ma'am. I left my house, I think, the 2nd or 3rd week of June, right before Reno, and I've been going ever since then. So I got to go a lot of cool places and experience a lot of firsts. A lot of cool rodeos that I got to go to for the first time, and I didn't really have any big wins anywhere. I just kind of placed along the whole time, and I was hoping to get a big bullet at Cheyenne, and it just didn't play out in the courts that way. And now we have another little wrench thrown in our plans, so we're just going to regroup, and then when we're all healed up, we'll just try to hit the ground running. But I mean, we've had a great year. I got to go with my mom and dad. They came with me this year, and so we've got to do a lot of stuff together and experience a lot of things. And I don't know. So we're just here now.
Yeah. So I had heard from Casey, who works with us, that Hope lived with your family when you were young. So can you talk about having kind of Hope and Larry D and Jackie all as your mentors?
I've grown up with roping against those ladies since I was like 8 or 9 years old at the Texas Amateurs when that's all they had. They're all my great friends now, and there's so many ladies that can rope now. It's great. It keeps me up in my game, because you have to in order to be able to stay on top and win. And so, and aside from all of that, all of the ladies out there, we're a pretty tight-knit group, and have a lot of friends. I have a lot of friends that are my age that are out there, like Madison Uthier, Brady Good, Aspen Miller, just different things like that. And it's fun to be able to experience this with all of them, because it's kind of, in a way, new to all of us, because it just got added 2 or 3 years ago. So we're all getting to do, some things together for the first time, and I think that's pretty cool too. And so, I mean, they're great ropers, but they're even better people.
That's awesome. Can you talk about the horse that you were riding?
Yes, ma'am. His name is Dutch. I bought him at the end of the year last year, and I kind of cracked him out in Fort Worth at the AQHA roping that they have over there, and then I took him to California and roped on him at all the California rodeos, and he's just been one of the greatest blessings. I don't really get on a horse and do well with them very fast, but it didn't take Dutch and I very long to get a lick with each other, and I just think that he's so much like the other horse I ride, Tonka, that I've actually been riding Dutch more, just try not to swap back and forth too much, but he just hardly makes no mistakes, and he's been so great for me.
That's awesome. Can you talk a little bit about his style? Because I noticed you don't ride him in a tie down kind of.
He's just one of those. He's just one of those horses where he's broke enough that he doesn't need one. I feel he runs harder without a tie down, and it's kind of just a plus that it looks cool.
Yeah.
He's just, I think the easiest thing about him is he runs so low headed and so flat, and he can run really fast. So he gets us to the calf fast, and he stays out of my way. I can see and like almost dominate the run at all times. That he never really overpowers me. Even how strong he is and stuff, just the way he moves, and God gave him those athletic talents, and so he's a real special horse.
That's awesome. Is that the one that went down on you? Is he?
Yes, ma'am.
Is he doing all right, or is he?
He's fine. It just, everyone that saw it said that it happened so slow, and I felt like it happened so fast I don't remember, but he's fine. He just, he broadsided and then he stood right back up.
Oh, good. Okay, that's
We literally
good.
were trotting.
Oh, my goodness. It's just those random weird things that end up.
The most random stuff.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Dang it. So, I mean, besides, when you make your comeback after this, what are your plans with the WCRA? Are you going to be going to that Cowtown, that I don't remember what they're calling it.
Cowtown Christmas.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I was going regardless of if I would have done good at Days of 47. But now I guess we're eligible for the Triple Crown, so
wow.
I will be there for sure.
That's awesome. Perfect. Well, thank you so much. I hope you get healed up soon so you can get back at it.
Man, our hearts really go out to Josie dealing with that injury at such a pivotal point in the season. I know Josie, and I know she's going to keep her head up and have the best attitude through it, but that's just not something that's easy to deal with. I want to make sure, as a whole, you guys are not sleeping on these younger breakaway ropers, though, because, I mean, Jenna just bought her permit. Jenna Hume, not Jenna Link, our digital editor. Jenna Hume bought her permit in the Great Lakes circuit. She's been going to some pro rodeos. Josie's doing amazing. That rookie race is tight right now. They are nipping at her heels. Same thing with the World Standings race. You know, we had Jordy Edens on a couple episodes ago. She's just a younger girl coming up, and she's roping amazing. And as Josie mentioned, Brady Good, BreakawayRoping.com coaches, Aspen Miller, Madison Uthier. I know I'm missing a few, but there's so many of these teenagers that are just taking everyone's money. It is really fun to watch. Make sure you guys are keeping up with all the news at BreakawayRopingJournal.com and on our social media. If you're looking for a new rope, check out Fastback Ropes at fastbackropes.com because they brought you today's episode. And of course, if you're looking to improve your roping, you've got to check out BreakawayRoping.com. There's videos from Josie and some of the other coaches that we mentioned, along with Larry D. Guy, Hope Thompson. Man, if they're winning, they're probably on that site. So, guys, have a great week. We'll be back soon with more interviews from the Pro Rodeo Trail and other events. Thanks so much.